Everyone is loaded in. And we're getting into game number 1. First semifinals of the Taco Cup. This is the first best of 5 also. uThermal versus Clem.
Exactly, and I was not fast enough. God damn it! I got rid of one of them.
Oh my god.
But we are getting into it. It's going to be a TvT best of 5, the very first semifinals of Taco Cup number 6. And we'll see, it's going to be an uphill battle for one of them. The other, a favorite to win this entire tournament.
All right, here we are. Oxide LE, game number 1. Man, I am ready. Maybe I'm not. I don't know. I can't tell. But here we are in the top right-hand corner of Oxide LE. And we are looking into the main base of the Terran Tyrant in red. It is uThermal from Netherlands playing for Team Liquid.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Oxide LE, we have the French Terran player, the blue Terran, also representing Team Liquid. It is, oh my god, currently getting proxy racks, Clem.
This is exactly what, see, uThermal knows what's up. I've been saying this forever, and it took the semifinals a professional like uThermal to go ahead and proxy barracks. Like, it worked against Special, it should work against Clem.
This is what separates the boys from the men, you know? This is like...
Clem didn't go for the SUV scout either, he's just now going for it.
Oh yeah, he is. Well, that's the difference though, right? Between Clem and Special. Clem is actually still going for some kind of scout. Not as early as, you know, it could have been, but he is still sending it out, and he should be able to spot that there is a proxy on the map. It's
honestly so late. There's already a Reaper on the way. By the time he checks out this barrack, he's gonna figure out that that there's a proxy, but there already be a Reaper in his natural, and he won't be able to throw down any sort of defense. He's even going to expand on location.
Oh, will he though?
Something's up.
Yep. Now he knows he's aware. Immediately recalls the SCV to the high ground, starts a bunker, and as you were saying, the Reaper is about to pop out. And it's going to be so important to finish up this bunker. Even throws down a second one just, and a depot here over on the right-hand side.
Wow, yeah, he put that depot back there just so it won't get taken out by the Reaper. But now the Reaper is here, and now it has to choose, is to take out the SCV or the Reaper itself, because, oh god, that was funny. He just launched his SCV back into the fire of the Reaper, killing the SCV midair.
And the bunker is going to finish.
That's rough. You could not stop that bunker from going down.
Oh, exactly. Clem showing us how to defend against this proxy racks, and even only going for 2 bunkers. We did see Chaos Fate. He was able to defend against this from Clem, but he overinvested maybe with 3, and uThermal immediately.
Yeah, he's still harassing with this SCV on the other side of the map as well. Like a madman that he is.
Oh boy.
Now where's uThermal left?
Yeah, uThermal, he's going to have to try and transition out of this. You know, immediately already lifting up his Raxes, sending them home, sending one in to scout. We'll see if he can find some damage with these Reapers.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to get a little bit, but he's not microing perfectly. He's going to get around. He's got to throw his grenades down, but he doesn't have any grenades left. There goes one. That was a pretty good one. Now it's gaining some value here.
Oh, yeah. He almost got surrounded, but he was able to maneuver around all the SCVs and the Marines, and in the end, he does escape with 3 Reapers.
Ooh, that low hit point Reaper is a nice save, because now it'll regenerate very fast. Look at that. I don't know what type of technology they're on, what they're feeding these Reapers, but they heal up pretty damn fast.
Oh, yeah. And we do see uThermal, he commits with the racks, so he's going to be able to scout. He sees the CC timing, he sees the 1-1-1, and
behind this, with all the defense, they're still even on workers.
Yeah, we're just gonna slow down and get into a macro game.
Yeah. Now I think the advantage here for uThermal is he is building his CC on location, so he will begin to mine faster than Clem will.
Oh yeah, definitely. So he will have that advantage going for him. We'll see if Clem is going to be able to go for some kind of counterattack. I think what's important is that those 4 Reapers of uThermal were actually able to kill a couple of Marines as well, so it does kind of slow down any kind of pressure that Clem wants to apply.
Yeah.
Oh, if any, like this Rax, it's gonna dive in, and he should be able to spot the third CC that's being made.
Yeah, definitely. And the barracks is still alive. The thing is not going down. Those things are tanky, especially against just a couple of unupgraded Marines. Now the Cyclone does come out for Clem, and is Clem gonna push out with just a Cyclone and Hellions? No.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is that Clem, like, he hasn't really been able to scout too much since the beginning of the game. He was able to spot the CC building, so he's aware of that. And uThermal is trying to catch up himself, you know, making his own third CC. He's also waiting for, like, some kind of drop or, like, a Banshee or something coming into his main. So, yeah, they're both kind of on the defensive.
Yeah, and it looks like uThermal's about to go for his third here pretty soon, or maybe it's a scouting Marine at the third base of uThermal, but I don't know. It's up to who's gonna expand again.
Yeah, I mean, they both got their thirds, you know, on their way.
I'm got a third faster.
Yeah, that's why it was important that uThermal, he scouted it with his racks earlier, his floating racks, so he was able to spot the third, which is why he started his own, which is also why uThermal's is a bit later. So Clem will have that small advantage.
That shows uThermal's really worried, and he's going based off of what Clem does instead of going for his own build. Clem, I feel, is doing his own build there, doing his own thing, hasn't scouted like you said. He's kind of just chilling, unfazed by anything. I guess defending the Reaper racks cheese is kind of a good position to start with.
Oh yeah, definitely.
3 Ravens out of uThermal. I like this play he goes for. I feel like no one does that.
Yeah. Only one. The thing is that, like, because Clem is prioritizing Vikings, like, arguably these Vikings are going to be able to have a better chance at zoning out these Ravens of uThermal, maybe even sniping them before they're able to do too much.
Yeah.
So it's just all going to be about the
I think we're going to get into one of those Terran games that we all love so much.
Yeah, you know, we are here in the mid game, you know, or at least we're getting into it. uThermal is pushing out, as you said, with those 3 Ravens. He's got 3 tanks as well. This army is still pretty scary, but again, he doesn't have that, like, air superiority. He doesn't have much to contend with the Vikings of Clem.
But if he's able to throw down all his auto turrets around the tanks of Clem, he should be able to jump in the army regardless of the Viking count. Good positioning. He's got to not waste all his auto turrets on one tank. Oh, nice. He's using him just to zone, but the Vikings are closing in. The Cyclone does connect right on one of those Vikings. He's got to drop the Vikings, I feel. Yeah,
he does drop the Vikings, looking to try and defend his natural. Meanwhile, there is still some energy for more auto turrets to go down. The tanks are shelling away at everything.
Oh my god. The tanks are actually doing work. Good job by uThermal, leaving 2 tanks back and then moving in with just a single tank of Cyclone in the army, and 24 workers died from Clem due to those tanks. And uThermal is looking like he's in a pretty badass position here, if I do say so. The only thing is he's got to defend whatever Clem's about to come with now.
Exactly. He can't pull a Cham where you go across the map, you deal all this economic damage, then you die to the counterattack. We do have Clem immediately going across the map with his Vikings and with his tanks, but you know what? uThermal, he does have 1 defensive tank. He still has a couple of Ravens that survived, building up their energy, even reinforcing with Vikings.
That is huge. He kept all the turrets alive, which means they're going to regain their energy, and he's going to have plenty of auto turrets again, which won him the battle last time. A little SCV over here going to give his life in order to divulge the information that Clem is on the hunt for something, scanning the third base. uThermal, man, this is great. His army supply is so high. Clem is just now kind of like getting his supply even, army supply that is, even with uThermal, but oh god, that's a big pick off 1 tank.
Oh yeah, one of the tanks does go down, but you know what? Clem, he realizes the situation that he's in. He does unsiege, does back off.
Yeah, Clem ended up getting an even army supply, but it was all across the map back at home. uThermal had the defender's advantage and was able to reinforce better. So there's no way Clem was going to break that, especially with the air advantage now in favor of uThermal, like you said. And now I think we just posture up for the late game. There's no medevacs being produced at all, so there's no chance of drop, which I think is Clem's. Okay, as I said, 2 medevacs get queued up. I don't think Clem can live without drops.
Yeah, it's just what he goes for, and that's the thing about TvT. Like Clem, sure, he lost a bunch of workers early on, like 20 plus workers, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter because it's so difficult to push into these defensive positions for either player as long as they have siege tanks. So things are still going to slow down, and Clem is slowly like regaining his worker count and catching up.
Yeah, Clem's not even making that many workers at a time. He's making 2 at a time here. So I don't think he's even concerned with catching up in worker count. Seems to me like he just wants to get a big army and go for one big push. But so many Vikings here from uThermal. Mixed in with the 3 entirely full Ravens, that is a dangerous army. He can interference matrix the tanks. He can Dorito cannon the Marines. He can drop auto turrets in front of anything and around anything. And I love this. What do you do against someone who drops like Clem? You go for a little drop on him.
Exactly. What do you do against someone who drops like Clem? You drop like Clem. And we'll see if he's going to be able to do so. There are some spotter Marines here, though, for Clem, so he does spot the drop. He is aware of it, despite having a bit of, like, you know, a blind spot here when it comes to the sensor tower. He is in position, and he's waiting to wait for that drop to go in.
Yeah, I feel like uThermal was listening to the stream, and he was like, you know what, Yoda, you're right. I'm just going to play like Clem. And he can thank me in his tweet afterwards for the coaching.
It's one of those things where, oh yeah, I should go for a drop. Then he goes for it. It's like, oh, I guess I shouldn't have. So he backs up. He's like, it's not the best of ideas. And we do see Clem. He is positioning out here outside the 4th base, but the tanks, they're already sieged up.
Oh my God, uThermal has such a good composition, throwing Liberators even in on this, but you know, again, some players might spread themselves too thin. That means he has to micro Liberators, Vikings. Also, he has to work with the Ravens and then stim his Marines while also sieging up his tanks in the right position. That's so much to micro here, but these Liberators are going to do some work. A couple Marines try to get the slip or something here.
Yeah, I mean, he looks like he's trying to go for it. He does land his tanks, trying to siege up, but auto turrets dropped.
All the tanks go down. Interference matrix, a couple of tanks. The auto turrets did work just fine, and Clem, being a little crazy, even dropped some of his tanks out of the medevac, but everything gets destroyed here by uThermal, and now the army supplies have completely tipped in the favor of uThermal. Clem kind of catching up in worker count, but the army here for uThermal is looking tough.
Exactly. uThermal once again showing how important air superiority is in this TvT matchup when it comes to those Ravens, when it comes to the Vikings and the Liberators. And with that, uThermal does crush the army of Clem. Clem, he's not completely out of it. He still has a little bit of a force here, but oh god, it's just mainly Marines.
He's going to lose all of this, and I think that's his last push here. There's not going to be enough here to really defend. These tanks are too spread out. He's going to lose them one by one, and man, this is tough for Clem. Are we going to see Clem drop a map to uThermal here?
We may. I mean, with these reinforcements, Clem, he's only just barely hanging on, but now tanks join the fray for uThermal, and he does push Clem back once again.
Oh, or big tank hits. One tank behind the bushes, hiding, shooting from behind the rocks. It looked like it was going to do a lot more damage than it did, but it got found. The scan, it goes down without even getting through the bushes. And now, GG! uThermal has just taken game number 1 off of Clem, starting with the proxy racks in this best of 5 series. What is Taco Cup?
Exactly. uThermal was showing that when you start off with the proxy racks, you don't necessarily have to deal too much damage. You can still transition beautifully out of it, and that's exactly what he was able to do to win so many of those engagements. And mate, I'm telling you, it's something that Special didn't really focus on. When you have those Vikings, that allows you to go into Liberators. Something that you pointed out that's so important is that uThermal was able to keep those 3 Ravens alive for almost the entire game.
Yeah, that was absolutely ridiculous, man. What a start to the first best of 5 series. It seems like, you know, even with Special, it seems like the better Terran, no offense to uThermal, it seems like the better Terran always wants to go for a push, and it doesn't work. I feel like if you're in the lead as a Terran, you got to defend. But they always seem to go for a push. Special went snaking around, and that's how he lost the game. And now we see Clem go snaking around, and now he lost the game.
To be fair, in that game, like, Clem was behind from earlier, so it was more on him to make something happen, you know? Like, he felt the pressure of, like, trying to deal some damage. So, yeah, it's, it was a bit of a shame because he like forced himself in that position, and it's like, mate, your opponent has all these libs and all these like ravens with energy. What did Clem have? A couple of Vikings, a bunch of tanks, medevacs.
Ravens win wars.
Yeah.
And this is like the uThermal special. We saw him do it against Special. And so yeah, I mean, I did I ask that the other day, or what were we talking about? But I was like, why don't they just add one more in there? But I feel like I've always at least thought that. I don't know if I've ever said it on stream, but why not throw in an extra Raven? Why just get one? It's so versatile. You might as well throw in an extra one if you got the minerals for it and gas. It's like the double War Prism play. We're starting to see 2 War Prisms a lot more now than we used to. But here we are, ladies and gentlemen, game number 2 of this best of 5 series. We are on Pillars of Gold, and we're looking in the top right-hand corner into the main base of the blue Terran in this matchup. He is currently residing in the Netherlands. He's playing for Team Liquid, and he goes... Oh, wait, actually, wrong person. Sorry, guys. I lost your cam light. Where you at? Okay, we're still here. It is actually not the guy I introduced in the first part. He's not from the Netherlands. He's actually a French player, the up-and-comer who's now at the very top of all the ladder boards you could think of, all the tournaments, winning it all, playing also for Team Liquid. It is the Frenchman, Clem.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Pillars of Gold LE, we have the other Terran player also representing Team Liquid, hailing from the land of the Netherlands. He is harnessing the power of Uwu right now. He is uThermal.
All right, no proxies yet. I mean, uThermal's up 1. He must feel pretty good about himself here. I don't think it's quite that crazy that uThermal won 1 game off of Clem. But, I mean, is it a big deal? I'm not super familiar on how this matchup plays out.
Yeah. I'm gonna I'm gonna have to ask you to solo cast for a little bit for a sec. I'll be back soon.
Okay. Perfect. All right, what do we got here? Factory, nothing special, nothing crazy, but this is just the calm. We're in the eye of the storm right now. It's calm, smooth winds. Seems like everything's going good. Both players in their respected corners of the boxing ring here. Neither player being too aggressive. They're gonna play it simple. Reaper stays at home for uThermal. Uwu. Reaper does go out a little bit for Clem, but then comes back home. Both players playing it safe. Clem does not want to lose another game. uThermal would like to not cheese and throw this one away. Throw his lead away. 3 on 1 gas, 3 on both gases. Okay, they're both going for the 3 on gas. Except uThermal, he's late with that 3rd gas. He's minor details, guys. This can become a huge problem, or he's doing exactly what he wants for his build. Starport going down for both sides. Both doing the exact same thing. And actually, I think Clem is actually getting an add-on to his barracks to where uThermal's going. uThermal, I love this guy. He's like, you know what? Everyone goes for 2 Reapers in a Hellion. I'm going to throw 1 more Reaper in there. This is actually what I was talking about. Throwing 1 more Reaper in there. That's what I've seen. I think it was uThermal or someone did it. That is absolutely nuts. And you know, why not? Why would you not at least try something crazy, you know? Everyone defends 2 Reapers in Hellion, just like Clem's doing. What happens if I throw in 3 Reapers? And you know what? I'm going to get crazy because I'm uThermal, and I'm going to throw in a 2nd Hellion. But the thing is, I feel like he needs to move out. He needs to move out with this army. Maybe he's waiting for the Cyclone. Cyclone looks like it's going to be rallied across the entire map. So Cyclone's going to be on the hunt. uThermal has a strong defensive force. This looks like a force that would be good for offensive, for attacking. But so far, no attack coming out of him here. And it's getting dicey now, guys. The Reaper does go in, gets a scout off, sees what army composition he has, and now Clem's just going to sit back at home and defend.
Right. Sorry for that. I have returned. I'm back. I hope you enjoyed Cosmos' observing. I just threw it to him. Oh god. But yeah, okay, so have things been pretty passive?
Oh, super passive. The only thing here is I figured out what we talked about. uThermal threw in a third Reaper. And so that was crazy. That's pretty nuts. He also threw in a second Hellion. That's freaking ridiculous, but then they both just sat back and defended at home. So uThermal has done nothing with his Reapers or Hellion.
Fair enough, fair enough. I mean, we do have a Banshee coming out here for uThermal. We'll see if he's able to accomplish much with it. It is cloakless, and I mean, the problem is that Clem, he does have kind of units all over the place. As you said, like, both players have kind of been on the defense. I guess I don't blame Clem, especially after losing game 1.
Yeah, there's actually not much to defend against this Banshee here in the natural. Now there is. What's he going to do with the Ravens? We're going to throw down an auto turret. Cyclone's going to get it, and it's going to go down. Doesn't kill the Reaper.
Oh, okay. So 5 SCVs, I guess it's not bad, especially since it's not like uThermal committed too much to the Banshee. You know, he didn't commit into Cloak or anything like that, just made a single one.
It's going to slow down his Raven production for sure, though, and nice defensive positions here, but it really depends on which way this fight is taken by Clem.
Yeah, I
think Clem saw that and he's like, you know what? I do like Ravens. I'm gonna get 2 out early on and attack you with full energy.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is that uThermal, he's only just now spotting the army. He didn't realize that Clem was pushing out across the map, and because of that, he's fighting without his tanks. He's actually separated from them.
I feel like it's kind of the best thing possible. Now Clem has to be scared of a side attack as well. It's not just containing his opponent on the inside of his natural base. Now it's become, these guys can flank me at any time. He's got to keep the Marines back. He had to keep the Widow Mine in the back of the tank instead of pulling it forward. And now it's getting dicey. Interference Matrix on the forward tank, allowing uThermal to move up. And now he goes for the CranKy surround. He sees the Widow Mine, backs up, loses nothing. And he's going to inch his tanks forward and go for it right here. Pulls the Hellions up for it. Friendly fire from the Widow Mine. And this, I don't know who wins this. There's more army here for uThermal, but not a good position.
Exactly. uThermal, he tried to bust down to the low ground, but you know what? There were just so many auto turrets. They were able to survive, able to keep that tank alive. And with that, somehow Clem is holding with so little.
He's got a tank and 2 Ravens.
Oh my god. But you know what? Those Ravens, they are out of energy. They can't really do too much. Like, there's an opportunity here for uThermal. When he finally realizes, he scans, he realizes barely anything here, and he's going to be able to break out.
He got out with the tank. That's huge. I cannot believe Clem got out with the tank.
Wow.
For now. Wow, imagine you see a tank like 10 feet from you and you're like, run! But you're a tank, so you just water real slow.
Exactly. I'm just so surprised that
good positioning here.
Yeah, exactly. We do see uThermal. He's trying to make sure he's able to establish his third base. Meanwhile, behind this, Clem is already throwing down his third on location, and we'll see if Clem is able to find some damage here. He still has his Ravens. Meanwhile, uThermal only 1.
So many Vikings. They can just drop on all the tanks. You madman. Uh-oh. Okay, here comes the Marines.
Yeah, there are a couple of Marines. There are tanks in the backline as well. There is an opportunity here for Clem, and he is trying to reposition.
I think I think uThermal was in a good position there, had his tank real spread, but he needs to bring him back into the vision of the other tanks, and he's never really going to be able to drop the Ravens on these with them so split up. I like the way uThermal is spreading his tanks, but these Vikings are really just good to pull the army out of position. I wouldn't mind seeing Clem, if he's not going to pounce on this here, at least go for some auto turrets in the mineral line.
Yeah, I think he's just waiting to reinforce this army. More tanks are coming across the map. You know, a couple of Liberators as well, and the Liberator is going to be the big play here, especially because there's no air superiority at all for uThermal.
Oh man, is Clem gonna do it right here? Yep, he's gonna force all the tanks on siege, losing 1 here at uThermal, and it's gonna
just keep
doing that. Moving. Yeah, he's gonna leapfrog.
Oh boys.
What 1 Liberator ended this game for uThermal?
Yeah, the Liberator pushes all the tanks back. Auto turrets go down again. A lot of friendly fire, forcing the boys off the line.
Oh my god, and there's nothing but tanks back here. And he sieges up in range of the Liberator. As it goes down, the Vikings might drop eventually, but there's so many Marines here, and I think uThermal somehow wins this fight.
Yeah, but at the cost of what? At the cost of 15 SCVs. Like, he had to pull all of them to try to get on top of those tanks, and he will clean this up, but Clem, he does have that worker advantage.
Oh man, yeah. I don't know what to think of this now. Who's in the better position? There's more army for uThermal, and really it comes down to the engagement. So I feel like the economic advantage isn't too crazy. It's more so as how the compositions come together. Combat Shield is just now being researched by uThermal. That might help him in the fights of the future.
Yeah, I mean, something else is that it's this weird thing that happens in TvT where Clem, we've gotten to the point where he had all these Vikings earlier, now he's got 0 and he's just making nothing but medevacs. Meanwhile, uThermal is the one who still has some Vikings left over, but it looks like he wants to go for some harass, so they're not going to be here to try and stop a doom drop potential from Clem.
Yeah, and Clem now has +1 weapons and armor, plus the combat shield, so these Marines are pretty beefy indeed. No upgrades on the way for uThermal on his Marines. He moves the medevac up. Did he fake that? Or I don't know what happened there. Is he faking a drop or something? I don't know. But it looks like Clem has finally broken the defenses of uThermal. And this is going to be the declining uThermal. He's going for the backstab harass with these Vikings. That's actually pretty good. But if he loses this entire base, it's really not enough to save him here.
Yeah, exactly. To be fair, there's not a lot here to protect the tanks, and uThermal realizes that he lands the Marines on top of the tanks, but it's not enough.
GG, we are now tied up in this best of 5 series, man. I didn't think we'd have to say that. We're tied here. Game 3 coming at y'all.
Yeah. GG, we're tied up. Clem proving that he is still a solid Terran player in the European scene, and I mean, it's potentially we could just go all the way to game 5 if things keep going this way.
Yeah, definitely can. It's very possible. I'm going to head to the restroom before we get this game started. I'm in the lobby already.
All good. All right, here we go. Game number 3 is gonna be on Death Aura. And we'll see what transpires here. Again, I'm sorry I did miss the beginning of game number 1. It did seem pretty passive, but Clem, like with his positioning, with his decision making, with the Ravens, in game 1 and 2, that's kind of what it's come down to. Like the way these players have been able to utilize those auto turrets, all those interference matrix. As we are readying up, all the casters are in. Of course, this tournament is being casted by us here in English, but also in Brazilian, in Portuguese by Cosmos, and in Spanish by I was about to say a word, by a group of casters. I don't know if there's a word for a group of casters, but like, you know, Jim Rising, Skross, Demon Swap, Bobla, they're Grizzly and Garden, I think they're casting as well. There's like a team of like 6+ Spanish casters, and they're rotating depending on which series it is. It's really cool how they've been able to organize that, and kind of bring everyone and everyone's communities together.
All right. We are in game. I got back just in time. And it's game number 3, Light. You ready?
Oh yeah, let's go.
All right, here we are. Top left-hand corner of Death Aura Ali in the blue Terran pieces. He is representing France and Team Liquid. We all know him. Most of us love him. If you're not a Terran, you might hate him. He is Clem.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Death Aura LE, we have the other Team Liquid player hailing from the lands of the Netherlands. He is the green Terran. He is uThermal.
Two things I'm thinking of right now. One, you called it. uThermal's actually making this a game.
Oh yeah.
Like, I was scared this might be a walkover, but he's making it a game for sure. And 2, what better way to end the entire tournament than in everybody's favorite matchup? It's like coming home for dinner, or you wake up for breakfast and your mom makes your typical breakfast that you love so much. We're gonna get a ZVT in the end, in the finals.
Oh yeah.
And that's just like coming home and eating a pancake or something. I don't know. I don't actually go home and eat, but it sounds like that's what it would compare to, but either way, I'm glad we get a ZVT finals. It's going to be absolutely amazing.
Definitely.
Imagine Bly versus Clem in the finals. Or Solar versus Clem in the I think I went Solar versus Clem in the finals.
Solar versus Clem in the finals would be insane. But as you said, like regardless of which TvZ we're gonna get, it's gonna be beautiful to see. It's something that we haven't really been able to get into this tournament at Solar TvZ. So yeah, it's waiting for us there.
Except for Bly versus Kelzer, that was the only one.
Oh, but does that count though? Because of like Bly is his own race, okay? It's different.
Yeah, it's great.
I want some Ling Bane Muta against like some splitting Bio Terran, you know, with like Muta mines all over the place.
Isn't that what Bly did? Didn't he go like Lings into Roaches into Mutas?
Mate, he went for a bunch of virtual Lins, okay? It doesn't.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
What a time to be playing StarCraft here.
What a time. And again, uThermal is doing really well for himself, already tied up here in this series. This game, you know, opted not to go for a proxy. It's hard to say whether he will go for another proxy this series. It's kind of hard to call to do so like more than once in a series.
Yeah, definitely. And there he goes, and he's not from Belize.
He's not from Belize.
Despite popular belief.
Oh.
But there it goes. I bet a lot of people don't even know that's the Belize flag.
Oh yeah.
I sure didn't until this happened.
We're educating people here today. Like today,
yeah,
we're working on the Belize flag. You know, it's blue, it's
yeah.
red.
You'll be tested on it tomorrow, so make sure to learn it. Pop quiz tomorrow on all the flags.
I didn't even know if that's how you pronounce the name of the country. I just...
Yeah, it is. At least here. So we call it in USA, Belize.
I'll be honest, I didn't even know where it is on the map. I couldn't tell you. I couldn't
tell you where a lot of things are on a map. I'm not a big map guy.
It's like...
But luckily in 2020, we don't ever have to look at a map ever again. We have a phone to tell us where to go.
Yeah, and you know what? Like, we didn't even need that because we're not even leaving the country.
Yeah, I'm not even leaving my house. I don't need a map for my house. If I get lost, I know I'm home, so it's okay.
If you get lost in your house, then you gotta stop being... You got other things to worry about, okay? Other than finding a map.
If I get lost in my house, then I need to stop drinking. It's the only way I'm getting lost.
Oh, God.
But speaking of getting lost, this Reaper's actually looking for proxies.
Yeah. I mean, I don't blame him, you know, especially on a map like Death or a proxy starport isn't the strangest thing out there. But, you know, Clem is going out.
They always go down by that weird rocks in the middle. We always see proxies there.
Oh, yeah.
Which would have been a good spot because neither player scouted there. Clem kind of brushed by it.
Yeah, he slid by it. Meanwhile, there was no proxy starport or anything like that. We do have this initial Banshee coming out from Clem this time, not from uThermal.
Yeah. A little bit of differentiation in the builds here from both players. I like it. There's subtle openers, but they still change the game up a little bit. I wonder if a game has ever been changed just by the Banshee getting like 2 SCVs.
Yo, there's 2 kills. That's it. That's the game changer.
That's the game changer. 2 kills go down, and now uThermal's not going to be able to get his Raven on time. He's not going to have 3. They're not going to be full of energy. He's not going to be ready for the defense. Snowball.
That's it. That's game.
That's game. No 3rd Raven. The 3rd Raven is going to be 5 seconds late. Man, come on. Why is he still here? BM for him to still be in this game. BM coming up pretty fast for Clem. And I feel like Clem's just such a standard player. He just plays by the books and rewrites the book. He's writing the book as it's being told.
Exactly. He is the author on Terran right now, and you know, he's now landed on his 3rd base location. Meanwhile, the 3rd of uThermal is just now finishing up, but there are some units here from Clem waiting for it to land, trying to keep an eye on the timing.
I was gonna say, is he gonna scan for that? I was like, no way he scans for that, and he scanned for it.
Yeah, and he got it. Like, he got a kill on the Raven, and that's gonna be huge. Like, you were talking about that triple Raven opening, mate.
It's
now we're down
off
to 2.
of the tech lab. He can't get another one.
Yeah,
that's it.
He's committed.
Wow, that's just the loss. Instead of 3 Ravens, now it's definitely game over. Not only did the Raven come out late, it then died. Yeah. Maybe if it didn't come out late, those 2 SCVs made it late, and that's why it died. It would have came out 10 seconds earlier. It would have passed before the Cyclone got there and would have
exactly. It wouldn't have been anywhere near that location, and he would have been able to survive it. But because of those 2 SCVs, mate, that's just
wow.
Everything went downhill from there.
Yeah, that first Banshee really did the job that it needed to do, doing the Lord's work.
Oh god, but like I feel like, especially because uThermal, he lost that 3rd Banshee, like because of that, if he wanted to be aggressive, you know, now that the wind has kind of been taken out of his sails, because of that, he's forced to stay at home defensively. Now Clem, he's feeling so confident coming across the map now that he's got that, you know, now that he's been able to already snipe one of those Ravens.
Oh yeah, now he has his full Ravens ready to go. He only has 2, I believe, in there as well, so nothing too crazy. Clem really focuses on the upgrades for the Marines, as to where uThermal does not. Interference Matrix on 2 of the tanks. Oh no, this is bad. All the tanks are going down for uThermal almost instantly. Vikings winning the air battle also, and even the Liberator thrown in here. This was a timing push by Clem, meant to end the game.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my god, so many of uThermal's tanks went down there, and even though uThermal does have a bit of a higher Viking count, he did also lose both of his Ravens, and now like all he had left to defend was this lone tank. It was just enough, you know, to keep Clem at bay. Honestly, Clem could have kept going.
Thermal's going mech.
Oh my.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess it's not a big deal that he lost those tanks because he'll replenish them, but as far as economy goes, it's a big deal, and he's gonna come up on this 4th base, but there's gonna be no workers there. uThermal, I don't think he has a 4th base. I don't really know how mech works for... Wow, how did 4 Hellions not kill that?
Oh my god, SCVs, they're so durable.
5 Hellion hits. But yeah, I guess, you know, I don't know how it works in mech versus Terran, but most meching Terrans, what they do is get a decent defensive, siegeable tank army, and then they'll start expanding like a madman. So no 3rd base for uThermal quite yet. He is having it built as we speak. It's going to be later than Clem's.
Yeah.
But he should be fine if he gets more tanks out than Clem.
That's the thing, right? Like uThermal, because he's going full mech right now, not going battle mech, like he's fine just staying at home defending. You know, he's going to slowly expand. We already see like a bunch of missile turrets are being thrown down, sensor towers as well. He's sending out Hellions to harass, but again, that's just minerals. That's like no gas whatsoever. And mate, we're on death aura. We could be in for a longer game. Like
and when you go for all this gas, you have a lot of minerals left over that you really don't know what to do with, because you're not making Marines at all. So I like this. He's gonna have the Hellions for harass and as well as for scouting. But you know, Clem, he's must have seen this many times, and I love the sensor towers and the auto turrets, because what's one thing Clem likes to do that I've said a million times? He likes to drop. And as you see here, uThermal wants none of it, but he does need to secure himself a 4th base here soon. And he's going for a drop with some Hellions, or Hellbats in it, actually.
Yeah, we do see some Hellbats going out, but it looks like the Marine...
more Hellions in there if they're not warped in as Hellbats already?
Yes, you can.
Interesting.
Yeah, but the Marine, I think it did just barely spot that. Meanwhile, it looks like Clem is going to try and delay this 4th base.
Yeah, just with a bunch of Marines. Actually, there's not much here to fight that at all.
Oh, God.
Oh, no. Good thing it was only 2 Hellions.
Oof, yeah, exactly. Like Clem, so he definitely was looking at his minimap when the drop went past that Marine, so he was able to just completely shut that down. But again, that's not the biggest of losses. Like, does uThermal really care? Like, he wants to get rid of the medevacs.
A whole bunch of Hellions just slipped right past that Marine, chasing down the barracks into the 3rd. Oh, but there's tanks.
There are tanks.
Wow, this Marauder can take a whole lot of blue flame Hellion shots. It took like 32 volleys there to kill one.
Yeah, I like how like Clem, he's switching up his composition. He's getting a lot of Marauders. There's plenty of Raxes with Tech Labs. Meanwhile, there is this drop into the main base. Forest needs to go down.
Oh god. Yeah, I mean, it does force a lot of lost mining time, which is good, but it's not going to get a lot of damage. Really just pulling the attention away from Clem. He also sees the battle cruiser thingamajigger bouncing around, and now he's going for 3. He's been listening. uThermal's been listening the whole time. He's like, you know what, Yoda, you're right. I will now go for Thors.
Yeah. We were talking about this earlier, where it's so much easier to transition into Thors when you're playing mech, like because you already have those factories and those tech labs.
I love this. Try something different against Clem mech. I don't know about in this scenario. in this way, but for the most part, I feel like mech is seen as the easier playstyle than going for the tank siege and drops and marine marauder tanks.
Yeah, like right now it's on Clem to try and, you know, drop and deal some damage, because when we get to a maxed out scenario, you have to favor like the meching army quite a bit.
Oh, I would like for uThermal to wait till he gets these. Oh, he has Thors here. That is huge. The Thors were not expected by Clem at all, I believe, and now Clem is moving up with his Hellbats, and they're going to close the distance on all of this army. And eventually, I believe all of Clem's Vikings should go down, but uThermal's getting a little risky here, and he's pushing up. These Thors are very tanky, very slow, so they won't be able to keep up with the tanks. And uThermal's going to go back, but it looks like he's in a good position, even though Clem has 90 workers.
Yeah, uThermal, it looks like he's in a decent position. Again, there's a lot of supply in these Vikings that aren't necessarily very useful at the moment, especially because of all these Thors. We'll see if Clem is able to find like a position to land them to kind of flank that tank army. But it looks like uThermal, okay, he doesn't really like that position, so he's gonna try and rotate around.
Yeah, we are getting in. We're gonna get into a late game here.
Oh yeah. I mean, as soon as we saw uThermal like turtling up on 3 bases, it's like, mate, yeah, we're gonna be in for a longer one.
Ooh, do you know the name of this upgrade for the Raven? Is that the Raven upgrade?
It is the Raven upgrade. Maybe?
I don't know the name for it though. It is the Raven upgrade though.
What does it do?
Makes the Raven learn magic. The Raven becomes a magician. No, I think it gives it more energy. Gives it more starting energy, I believe. Some of the nature, maybe faster. Who knows? Either way, big attack here. Timing for both sides. Weapons just finished up for Clem. Vehicle weapons 2 and vehicle plating 2 is just now finishing for uThermal, but he already lost all of his army here. Minus the other 10 tanks behind and the extra 2 Thors that come in. So I don't know who won that one there. They're both dead even on army supply.
I mean, honestly, like, despite the Thors, there are just so many Liberators, and they absolutely annihilated the tank count of uThermal, forcing him back. And we do see that, okay, he's like, all right, I gotta respect the
Corvid
Liberators.
Reactor is the name.
There we go. Corvid Reactor.
I've never actually heard that before. I've never heard that out loud. Corvid Reactor. Anyone in the chat know anything about that thing?
Yo, there we go. That's gonna be the next upgrade we're gonna learn. We have pneumatized carapace. Now we have Corvid Reactor.
Flux veins.
Belize.
We're learning all types of things here. Wow, even going for the Cyclone upgrade now. That's a weird one that uThermal's. Maybe he's gonna switch into Ferrari mech or something.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't blame him. Like, it looks like he's trying to prepare everything he can for that anti-air to deal with these, or no, all of these Liberators, and possibly eventually BCs, because we have Thors, we have Vikings, we're gonna have some Cyclones mixed in as well.
Yeah, and all the upgrades coming here for Clem. He's just on point with the upgrades. uThermal, his upgrades seem like they're a little bit all over the place, but you know, he's still hanging in there with all the weird upgrades that I don't know what they're called. And he can't really engage this army ever. I mean, there's no way he'll ever have enough interference matrix to take out all of those Liberators. Maybe he Dorito cannons them. I don't know if that will even do anything.
Maybe that would be the play. So he could like focus them down a little bit faster. At the moment, we do see a couple of units are segmented off, but again, Clem, he wants to get rid of these bio units. They aren't really a core part of his army. He's just going full like sky mech or sky Terran.
Yeah, he's going sky. I would consider a mech, maybe sky mech. Look at that Liberator. What can you do to counter this? Mass Cyclone, maybe.
Yeah, I guess like Mass Cyclone would
Mass
be
Raven. Oh my god, 4 Ravens at a time.
Yep.
What memes are we seeing here?
Are we even going to get there though? Because oh my god, there's so many.
No, the misclick.
Everything just evaporates. Jesus Christ, anything in those liberation zones.
Auto turrets under all of the Liberators are going to come down from uThermal. Oh my god, the Thors just absolutely get obliterated. The air army seems to be too much, but that is a lot. Oh, I can't believe 3 tanks are still alive here. All the Vikings are alive for uThermal as well. How did his Vikings survive this mass air army from Liquid Clem? Vikings are officially OP. I'm sorry, not Vikings. Ravens. Ravens here are definitely the OP unit.
Exactly, Ravens are exactly what you need, and uThermal was able to take that engagement. Can he take this, though? Can he start to snowball and push up into the ramp, into the main bases of Clem? He's trying, but again, the reinforcements are just so many from Clem.
I cannot believe that fight went in uThermal's favor like that. So many auto turrets were dropped on all the Siege Liberators. That was absolutely ridiculous. I cannot believe it. Both players sitting on a healthy bank account. They don't really need to make more workers. However, uThermal's trying to get up to 90, I guess, or something. I don't know what that is. And even going for +1 building armor now.
I'm honestly surprised that Clem is continuing to pump out more and more Liberators. Like, we have 6 more Liberators on the way. Like, from what I know, like, late game TvT, you want to end up getting into, like, that Mass Raven style, and then eventually BCs, I feel like. That's, like,
I don't think I've ever seen the Mass Raven here in, like, a late game TvT. BCs for sure. But I guess he wants to go with his Marines because he invested so much in the +3 upgrade. So, wow, I can't believe they're actually doing this. Just a couple Marines here. Gonna take out this base for uThermal and 17 workers with it.
Yeah, +3 Marines and
he's gonna take the base and siege up there.
Why not? Why not take that base as the planetary does go down? uThermal was forced to react, trying to deal with this.
Oh, interference matrix. Can you interference matrix a Marine?
I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a mechanical unit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just making sure. But either way, a lot of auto turret energy here. He's gonna back up. Not gonna lose too much here. Maybe 1 Raven or 2, but eventually one of these players is gonna have to push into the other. There's not that many tanks for Clem, so he can siege up the Liberators. But uThermal's he's on point. He's leaving. Oh my God, 2 tanks into a planet, not a planetary over here, actually an orbital command. Oh, Liberators can come in though.
The harassing tanks.
He could have got out of there, but it's not.
Yeah, it looks like both are gonna go down. As we do see uThermal.
Is he going for it here? Is this the all in here?
We'll see.
If I were him, I would leave the doors in that speed zone and try and engage in the speed zone so you can step out of the Liberator range fast.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see if like he forces Clem to do so. We'll see if he falls for something like that. But we do see they are still trying to posture around each other. There are a couple of units here and there off to the side harassing, and
Clem's harass is just more well thought out, I believe. Yeah, by the time all these siege, uThermal's getting really good at stepping out of the line of fire. Tank here is gonna get caught out. Very unfortunate. Oh, does it survive now? It almost did, but then it walked back. Those Ravens are full. I feel like you want to start trading out some of this energy.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, you want to be utilizing that energy. Otherwise, it's, you know,
oh my God, the flash from the Liberators. Oh God, that was scary. Those Liberators hit all the Ravens all stacked like that. That would be rough. Oh God, here it goes. All the Ravens? Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. A lot of turrets got out, but a lot of the Ravens died. But Clem, one step ahead, unsieges right as all the turrets go down, the auto turrets, and now Re-Siege is going to take out all of the army for uThermal. And now the army supplies are even again.
Yeah, that was beautifully done by Clem. Like, he realized that, okay, I need to deal with the Ravens first. So even though Liberators don't have the best anti-air, it was good enough to basically reset the Raven counts of uThermal, and then he was able to take out everything on the ground.
Yeah, and now we're getting into the end of the late game to where Clem has more mining. He has one of uThermal's bases actually mining in the right center of the map right there. That light's showing us, and you know that's going to come into play as these fights get real greedy, and we're running low on minerals, and there's no more bases to take in the entire map. And so now these players just fight for the running out of economy, as most wars happen.
Yeah, exactly. Like, in the end, Clem will have more economy due to that, you know, due to that base that he was able to take of uThermals. And now we've gotten to the point where, oh God, these Liberators are slowly getting closer and closer, and uThermal can't really do anything about this, not about this position.
Oh man, yeah, and with that base going down, that's gonna be hard. Even losing some workers over here, I don't think you worry too much about the workers. All those mules are kind of tough to lose though. And so now that he loses his base, now he's down 2 bases on his opponent. And this is where uThermal needs to do some counter damage. Like, yeah, he can fight Clem in a straight up fight usually, but Clem's not taking any straight up fights. Clem's just sieging. Oh my god, the flank here. All the Raven energy is going to have to be used here. And this looks like the final big battle in which both players, actually, this went really good for uThermal. That might have even brought him back in the game.
Yeah, exactly. Like Clem, he just sat in that auto turret range, and the auto turrets were able to take out almost every single liberator. And uThermal, he's fighting back, but again, the economy of Clem, he just remaxed.
Yeah, he's gonna remax, and now all the Ravens are out of energy. Even though there was a lot, the Thors here are gonna take out all of the Vikings. Wow, this is actually now going pretty good for uThermal. I say pretty good. He's trying to reestablish a base that he has to have in order to stay in this game.
Yeah.
His opponent, 2 bases ahead of him, now does secure, but it's instantly gonna die. He's not healing it. He's not lifting it. He's got to go into the tank siege and drop all the... He got 2 auto turrets. He's really got to take out this tank and then try and back up.
Yeah, the problem is that, again, Clem still has a massive bank, and he's trading bio against this. Like, maybe inefficiently, but, like, he's still coming out a little bit better in those trades. And in the end, uThermal is just barely able to keep this base up. But for how much longer? Like, he's slowly running out of Raven energy.
Yeah, he's pretty screwed on the Raven energy there. And that's the problem. You know, they're supposed to snowball, but with all these Liberators and the Vikings that Clem had, they keep dying, and they're not able to live long enough to gain their weight in gold as they should. And now this position's going to take out a lot of workers here. Oh god, what's he going to do? Any interference matrix? Nothing. He splits the Ravens and the Vikings. Vikings win the fight, obviously, against the handful of Liberators there, and they do back up. Clem is just sieged so nicely here. Some tanks coming in here for uThermal. I think she'd maybe heal one of those tanks.
Yeah, I mean, a repair would be nice. You know, he does have a couple of minerals to spare, so he could go for something like that. Again, I still I feel like I want to favor the army of uThermal just because of all the Ravens, but we'll see.
Yeah, I favor the army because of the Ravens, but I mean, there's just no way this army can break Clem. While it might keep him at bay and win in a straight-up fight, there's really no end game here for uThermal. What does he do once he kills everything and drives Clem out? Then he's going to have a bunch of Ravens, and that can't really destroy too much.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? I think the majority of the Raven energy has been used. We may have seen the loss of the auto turrets there, and now the Vikings are slowly picking away. There are only 4 Ravens left here, and the Liberators are getting on top of the base.
If you look down at the bottom of the screen, Clem almost has double the mineral income of uThermal, and he's just spamming bio units into here. These are disposable. He doesn't need them. uThermal, however, cannot replace him on his last mining base.
Oh, God.
Liberators from the back. This is it. GG in a 24-minute mech Terran versus Terran game. Clem comes out the victor.
Jesus,
that was nuts. That was a good one.
The flanking Liberators. He was surrounded by liberation zones. There was nowhere for him to go. GG.
That one was great. That was probably one of the best matches we've seen this entire tournament. Yeah, and that was just game number 3. Now we're going to get into game number 4. Possibly the final. Maybe uThermal can tie it up.
Yeah,
we shall see here.
Yeah, as another reminder, this is a best of 5, so potentially the final game. Otherwise, uThermal, he needs to win this if he wants to make it to that ace match.
Yeah, big oof on that one, man. uThermal, he was looking pretty good there. I don't know, Clem's just Clem. But I do give it to him for taking Clem that late in the game and actually giving it to him pretty good. They were going back and forth for a while in every fight, and then in the end, he just got bled dry, as you do to Terrans.
Yeah, it was kind of a war of attrition there towards the end, where uThermal, he was just down in bases. You know, he just couldn't trade anywhere near as efficiently, and like the income matters so much more for the meching player because your units are so much more expensive.
Yeah. That's why you got to tank up in the beginning, so you can build them up and then come in and actually do the damage once you've snowballed that. But Clem's just so good at all the things he was doing there. He had the Ravens, the Liberators. He threw in tanks, bio. That was just absolutely nuts.
Oh yeah, absolutely nuts. And it looks like we are going to be getting ready. Ooh, it is going to be Lightshade.
Ooh, interesting. Lightshade LE. The grass here is fun in the beginning. Right in the middle of the map. We'll see how that comes into play. But, you know, It's not looking too good for uThermal here. Obviously, Clem is Clem, so I can't say that enough. It's a hard ask for anybody playing him.
Yeah, and I wonder what uThermal's going to whip out, because he's the one who, I mean, to be fair, he's the one who needs to switch things up, and he's been, you know, going for proxies, he's been playing mech instead. Meanwhile, Clem is the one who, more or less, has kind of just been doing the same thing, you know, just kind of reacting to his opponents and playing his style. So, what is there left for uThermal to do? You know, maybe Ferrari mech? We haven't really seen him incorporate cyclones.
Either Ferrari mech, or you do it when you game 1 and go for the proxy racks.
Oh, okay.
I think, you know, but I feel like the proxy racks is what Clem will be looking for this game. Like, he won with the proxy racks. Why wouldn't he do it again? But I already said all their names in the 2 seconds we've been in this game. Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Lightshade LE. We are here in what might be the final game. This man is down 2-1 playing for Team Liquid. It is uThermal.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Lightshade LE, we have the other player representing Team Liquid, the Terran player. He is also hailing from the land of France. It is Clem.
Mass Raven never works. Should never work. That should be an illegal play to do ever. I've lost as a third to some Mass Raven before.
Oh god.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds that sounds rough. That sounds rough. Oh god. I mean, it almost worked. It almost worked for uThermal, but yeah, Clem, he was just on top of like maneuvering his units out of that auto turret range. Like, that was it. Whenever uThermal won a game, it felt like Clem had just sieged up all his liberators, and then immediately all the turrets went down, and then all the liberators died because they were just kind of stuck stationary.
Yeah, and in that one fight, like you said, it was really sick. Like, it looked like he sieged up and unsieged instantly.
Yeah.
But he shot off all the auto turrets. By the time the auto turrets landed and started making hits, he was already getting out of there and only lost a little bit of army, and then re-sieged just out of range of the auto turrets. Next level.
It was really cool to see that dynamic between the two units, between the Liberators and the Ravens. We'll see if we get more of that, if uThermal decides to whip out that mech style once again. It's hard to say. Like, it didn't look too bad. It looked like there were some moments where he was ahead, but yeah, we'll see what he has in store for us here on Lightshade.
Can't believe that game went out so long. I mean, I could once I saw it was mech, but wasn't expecting that from uThermal at all. And I'm glad we saw it. I wanted to see Thor's fight, and now I get why they don't get used that often.
Yeah, they did okay. You know, they tried. They tried. I guess not ideal, especially because I could be wrong, but especially when Liberator range comes into play, like Thor's can't really get in range to shoot Liberators without getting shot by them. Like their range isn't. It did get buffed, but it's not that big.
Liberators absolute smack once they get like 5 or 6 around the door. Those doors were dropping like flies.
Yeah.
Okay, not bad. I think he picked off one SCV there and gets out. Clem, that's it. GG. Double Raven or double Hellion production here. Okay, what is this? Are we in an armory?
We could. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a medevac coming out from this starport for a bit of a Hellion drop either.
Yeah.
Yeah, we shall see. Oh my god. Okay.
Wow, he's gonna do it. This works really good against Terran or Zerg as well. We've seen it many times before.
Yep.
Armory should go down, or maybe it's just gonna be Hellions.
Yeah, we'll see if an armory gets incorporated regardless. Like, there is a medevac as well to pick up some units and go across the map. We're going to be seeing some Marauders hit with concussive shell, and what's important is that Clem needs to scout this, and so far he hasn't. He's just seen the 1-1-1, which looks kind of normal.
I feel like if there's an armory, then you can heal up the Hellbats as well.
True.
But they would be slow to Reapers and the Cyclone that's inevitably there. But then that's where the concussive shells come in.
Yeah. We'll see how hard this is going to hit for uThermal. We'll see if he's going to be able to catch his opponent off guard. And so far he has, because again, Clem, he hasn't gone in for another scout other than his initial Reaper.
See, man, uThermal knows what's up, man. He's been switching it up every single game, trying something new. While it might not work, that's a risky run, but at least you're trying something other than just going straight macro v macro against someone you know you can't win against. And the tank is sieging up, so I don't know if this is going to work. Oh, so many Marines in the way. Medevac, oh my god, surround. Pull the boys, instantly pulling of all of the SCVs. A Raven drops its auto turret, and I can't. Mate, did uThermal just do it?
I mean, he immediately focused down the Cyclone and then followed by the tank with his Marauders. It looks like he's been able to kill the majority of the units. The auto turret was just out of range. It wasn't helping whatsoever. And now these handful of units are going to shell away at these workers. It may not be game-ending damage, but uThermal, he's done well with this.
Oh, that is rough.
Oh my god.
You're going to find any more damage here.
We'll see. I mean, the SCVs are kind of lining up, but the Marines are warding him away. There's no medevacs to heal them.
Tank showed up now. He's just trying to be as annoying as possible.
Stay away.
Wow, what a gladiator. Are you not entertained? This poor Reaper there. Yeah, he did go down.
Yeah.
You missed it. Light moved the camera to we didn't want to see that disgustingness.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't want to see an innocent man get slaughtered, even though he just killed a bunch of SCVs.
It's one of these weird things where, okay, so Clem defended, and in the end, we're like kind of even. Like, I mean, uThermal is ahead in workers, but only slightly. Clem, he was able to keep his Ravens alive because like there wasn't anything that really shot up, so he has that advantage as well. And he's even the first to work on his third here on location.
Yeah. Clem did lose a lot there, though. He lost a tank, he lost a Raven, he lost Marines, and 6 SCVs went down. So, all in all, I think that was pretty worth it for uThermal. If he can hold this right here, which he should see it coming with these Marines.
Yeah, I mean, these spotter Marines should be able to see this, and he is already sieged up at home to defend. There are a couple of Ravens that are going to come in as well. Hopefully they don't get caught out. Oh, God.
Okay, not a bad position here for either player. uThermal going for the Thermi special, getting 3 Ravens out. 2 Vikings for Clem, though, so no anti-air for uThermal. Oh, the tanks are on siege. He's going to throw turrets down right at the tanks as they try and siege up. Vikings come in to do counter damage, counter auto turrets. 1 tank does go down, and the Marines and tanks try to move in, but they decide to head back home, and uThermal now doesn't have that much energy on his Ravens.
Yeah, it was really impressive to see. Like, uThermal pounced on those tanks with those Ravens. Meanwhile, Clem was able to defend his tanks with his auto turrets as well. That's why uThermal couldn't get down onto the low ground. There were auto turrets protecting that ramp. And Clem, you know, with not too much, he's still able to shell away here and deal some damage.
Yeah, he's actually going to get this. That's pretty annoying. Good positioning there. And I feel like uThermal's kind of playing like Clem this one. He's going for all the upgrades. He's getting +1 stim. He's getting +1 and stim, and going in a tank, Viking, and Marine production.
Interesting. Yeah, so we do have those upgrades on the way. We're not going to see mech from either one of these players, which I'm grateful for. But yeah, at the moment, uThermal is kind of stuck here on 2 bases. Meanwhile, Clem is happily mining from his third.
Yeah, and this is crazy here. I can't believe uThermal's doing. I mean, he's doing really good here. But Liquid Clem is he's kind of posturing up here, doing a lot of annoyance. He's not really breaking this at all, but I love this. The counter attack from uThermal with the Ravens, question mark. I guess he's looking for reinforcements. Yeah. Oh, the Siege Liberator. It could be the end here if uThermal isn't careful.
Well, it's scary, especially because these Ravens, like uThermal was thinking about counterattacking, which means they're not here to help defend.
Yeah. Oh, I like this. The Marines placed in certain positions. He's going to try an interference matrix. Oh, auto turrets on all of the tanks. But their tanks sieged up, so they kind of just blow them all up. But he moves in unsieged with his Marines, and Stim has not finished yet for Liquid Clem. And he cleans up everything besides the Raven, sending Clem home with his tail between his legs. Or maybe in a great position to fight again. I think Clem overstayed his welcome there.
Definitely, he did overstay his weapon, and he paid the price for it. But at the end of the day, it was also kind of worth it because, again, like he's been mining off of 3 bases this entire time. uThermal is finally going to be able to take his expansion, but he's been stuck on 2 bases for the past 9 minutes.
And Clem still has more army.
Jesus Christ. He's got more army. He has enough army to send a bit of supply here, going for a drop to the south. And to be fair, like, again, when it comes to TvT, like, these are still pretty, like, defensive positions, and uThermal can elongate this to the point where he gets back into this economically. But yeah, we'll see if he has enough supply to really defend his main from this drop.
He needs an auto turret in the main, and as I say that, he's trying to put it down, but it's too late. The drop is coming, and there's nothing to defend.
Exactly. There's a couple of Marines coming out from these Raxes, but you know what? They're not
He's
enough.
making Marines one at a time. Why does he not have any sort of add-ons on that? Oh, I think this just might be game-ending damage, man. Okay, no, he didn't get too many workers. That's fine. The scary thing here is, like, you know, game one, I think it only worked for uThermal because he had the Ravens, some good engagements. He was the aggressor, and that opening with the proxy racks did a little bit of damage. Here, I loved his opening. It did a little bit of damage, but now Clem's free to drop, and we know how much he can do with that.
Yeah, exactly. He's even free to spread all his Marines all over the place to catch things like these drops, so he is aware of them, already being able to siege up here at his third base. And uThermal, he's just trying to find something with this drop.
uThermal's got to do something to get back in this game, because as of now, Clem has more workers, more army, and overall better setup.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is Clem going to go sharking around and lose his entire army again? I like this sharking around from uThermal. It's just a bunch of 2 medevacs and a bunch of Marines. That's all you really need for harass.
Yeah. It's an army that, you know what, if it dies, like, it's not the biggest of deals. It's very disposable. I was gonna say that, like, uThermal at least has been able to finish up his 4th base. But again, like, Clem, he's already landed. You know, like, he still has that economic advantage. He's still keeping that, retaining that. And we'll see if uThermal, maybe he can do something with these Marines.
Yeah, I do believe the upgrades are going to be in uThermal's favor for the entirety of this game, as long as he keeps up with them. But yeah, man, Clem getting the late combat shield now as well. I guess not late. It's late in the game, but if you're a Terran, this is the time you want to get it in this composition that Clem is going for, and uThermal's trying to play like Clem. It might work.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, he does have a pretty massive upgrade advantage. 2-2 only just starting for Clem, so it's still, like, there is still a massive window where the Marines of uThermal are going to be far superior to that of Clem. But at the end of the day, like, it isn't necessarily about the Marines, it's about the tanks, right? It's about the positioning. Who's going to siege up first? Who's going to end up, you know, better surrounding their opponents? And uThermal is trying to find an opportunity here, trying to find an angle.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna find it. Well, he's gonna attempt to get into the angle that he thinks he found, but he's not gonna find it. There's no way. And what do you do here? Everything's gonna die. Dorito cannon on all the tanks and Marines, and I think he might have actually found an angle.
Yeah,
Clem didn't have enough tanks to the northeast portion, I guess, but he has all these Vikings. If he drops the Vikings behind the tanks, maybe he's got a chance.
Yeah, the problem is that there are Marines behind those tanks protecting them, making sure they stay alive. So Clem, even though he has all the supply in these Vikings, they're not really finding too much.
Yeah, but those, I mean, I guess those medevacs over there are never going to be able to heal any Marines up in a fight. Forcing Clem to lift up this 4th base here, not bad. Giving uThermal a chance to catch back up. Like you said, he can draw the game out for a while, elongate the game, and then catch up in economy. But then there were Liberators. 2 tanks are going to go down at least.
Like, I feel like when
one. Nice.
we keep talking about Clem, right, and how he's known for his drops. I feel like in TvT he's known for his Liberators.
Now he is. Apparently, man. And +3 already coming up for uThermal. But is that going to matter? He has a bunch of racks there that have no add-ons that are also not being used for production.
Ooh, I love this though. So uThermal does exactly as the majority of his army here, you know, again as a distraction. Meanwhile, there's nothing here to catch this. Oh, there are turrets though.
Not enough to kill 2, not even 1 medevac in this. And he's gonna, if he sieges up the tank onto production, this is gonna get rough. Liberators coming back, but against Marines, it really is futile to fight with Liberators. All the Liberators go down, even if uThermal loses this army, that's already good enough. Because the Liberator with a big thorn in his side, tank siege up, but not before taking a lot of losses here. None of the production actually really went down though.
My God.
That was actually a nice cleanup for Clem.
Yeah, the only thing that uThermal really got were add-ons, you know, a couple of add-ons here and there, and the missile turret, and because of that, like, the damage was negligible. Meanwhile,
But he left it open to get the fourth base. Oh my god! He's gonna take the base out. Oh no, he's not. He's gonna split his good blitz. He's stutter stepping into tanks, sieged up with his own tank siege behind, and now there's no Marines. He's got to get out of there. These Vikings are gonna drop on it for sure. He's got to bring those Marines that are up to the north back to defend. They're all gonna die, but at least they can buy a little bit of time. Don't siege your tanks, not here.
Oh,
I think he's overstaying his welcome.
Yeah, I mean, he was able to kill 18 SCVs and did force a lift off on that CC, but he lost so much supply in the process. Almost all of his Marines there just went down trying to dive on top of those tanks, and Clem was able to hold.
Behind this, uThermal taking the Worker League though, but they're not the Army League.
Yeah, he does have a massive worker lead, especially, you know, after killing all those SCVs at that fourth base location. Meanwhile, the armies are kind of missing each other. Clem heading across the map at the same time as uThermal. Oh, he does spot him though.
Ooh, wow, Clem out of position. He's gonna have to come back, pulling all the boys. Sieges has 2 tanks up there, and the Liberators are gonna come in, but where do you siege the Liberators? The tanks are just gonna unsiege. Oh my god, that's a lot of tanks for Clem, actually. Tank Liberator. Yeah. Is Clem going back? Jesus.
Oh god. Meanwhile, there is a bit of a run by with these 2 tanks here to the south. It looks like Clem is sending a couple of units over to defend, and yo, he's finally going to be pushing across the map. I think it's been a while since we've seen Clem on this half of the map, and is there going to be enough for uThermal to defend?
No way, Jose. Not against these Liberators. All he can do is counterattack. There's no way he defeats these Liberators, and he's going to go for it, dropping right on the tanks, coming in with the rest of his army. This is just about it right here. Clem's gonna go for the counter, and he's gonna go for the base trade, but looking at the armies of both players, it looks like Clem has a better army, and even getting the Liberator advanced ballistics, making them shoot even further, siege up even faster, I believe. I don't know quite what it does. That's one of those, but either way, both players are at the door of the other, and now it's a game of base trade.
Well, I was about to say that I feel like uThermal has a little bit of an advantage because Clem is only just now getting on top of one of the bases. Meanwhile, uThermal already killed the 4th CC. He's getting on top of the natural as well. In saying that, though, there are still plenty of tanks in the main to defend for Clem. And meanwhile, uThermal, what does he have? He has Marines in his main. Like, that's not exactly the ideal unit you need. You need those tanks.
Especially with these Liberators. These Liberators are a game changer. Why does uThermal never make Liberators? He actually won the first game, I think, using Liberators. Yeah, man, this is tough. We are in a full-on base trade situation. There's actually not much to defend the 3rd base, the last mining base of Clem, but uThermal has 2 bases still mining to the north and is even making 2 factories in the north as well to try and produce more tanks maybe. And this is actually not bad from uThermal as far as a response in a base trade. He knows he can't win. He can't get on the production of Clem, but he might be able to outmine him and continue to make units, bringing back just a small hit squad of Marines and medevacs.
Yeah, the problem is that Clem, like, he's going to be able to take out the production, and that's such a huge deal in a base trade. Meanwhile, Clem's production is perfectly fine. He's still got a massive army at home. There's no way that uThermal's going to be able to break that. You were saying how uThermal does have, like, this kind of sanctuary to the north, but how long is that really going to be safe, you know, once Clem deals with this base?
I mean, Clem's going to work his way that way, but it just depends on how this plays out. Does Clem continue to end all his production? There's a lot of Marines here saved up for uThermal. He might try and jump on all his army of Clem, which might not completely win, but the Liberator's on siege, and now it's going to give room for the Marines to go in and do a lot of damage at the same time. Clem's going to the north, right towards uThermal's 3 mining bases now.
Exactly.
And he's going to find all of this production, the last production of the tanks, and there's no way he can hold now. He's actually jumping on the tanks in his main with the Marines and all his own tanks from both sides, sandwiching everything, and he's going to clean it up. And now he's got to rush down to the northern, or up to the northern portion of the map and try and save all of his workers here. If he defends this, he wins a planetary, a couple barracks left alive in the main and the north. This is it right here.
Well, this is also going to give uThermal an opportunity to surround the army. Oh, could even pick off a couple of Liberators. Oh, almost gets one of them, but they both managed to make it to those tanks. And again, there are a couple of reinforcements here to the north, so uThermal, he could try and collapse on this army, but oh, he's actually going across the map.
Oh my god, he's going to try and end the game now. There's no way Clem has a lot at home to defend. And if you think about it, uThermal still has some production here while the tanks are sieged up, slowly going at it. He's been mining more for a long time, and I believe he still has a chance here. He's actually making more SCVs. I don't know which way this goes.
I don't know. I don't think it was the right move for uThermal to go across the map with this army. Like, he's turning back around. Yeah, he realized that he can't push up the ramp because of the reinforcements. So this army just did nothing for the past minute. Like, he could have been defending at home with this planetary, and because of that, he loses it.
Yeah, he's gonna hit him from a couple different angles here if he even wants to have a chance. But even then, very tough ask.
Yeah, I mean, again, like, uThermal, he does still have, you know, a couple of units here to the north, a lot more tanks as well, so he could go for the surround, and that's going to be what he's going for. He's going for it.
I think a Doom Drop would be his best bet at this point, but he's going to go for the surround, and this worked last time. It's going to work here, but behind it, Clem has already droned up pretty, or SCV'd up pretty heavy. He's got another base secure, and, I mean, uThermal's in a decent position. They're kind of even on workers, but there's really no telling whose game it is now. I would say Clem, just because he's a... you know, Clem. But overall, uThermal just has a little bit more army, and the gap is closing on the army and the mineral income. So yeah, we'll see.
Like, uThermal, he's only got one mining base, and even then it's like half a mining base, really. He's trying to expand over to the north, but yeah, he has to do something with this main army, and he does have a bit of supply advantage, but...
Oh my gosh, there's more tanks in this position for uThermal than Clem, and if uThermal takes out this army, he needs to get out of there. There are more tanks reinforced for Clem. He's got to leave now. He did the damage. He won the fight initially, but now he's slowly losing. He's got to get out of there and boost out these medevacs. Oh, he's losing the medevacs. Full energy medevac.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he was winning that engagement until the reinforcements, the reinforcing tanks came from Clem. They sieged up on the high ground with those liberators, and he was able to defend. And now uThermal, like, he's only got a couple of units left. Like, this is really all he has. He's trying to produce as best he can.
He's long distance mining from that base at the north because it was taken out. A liberator's going to come in and harass and confirm that that base is there. And while it was looking really good for uThermal, just a few undecisive moments really caused him to lose this game. If he loses, he might have a chance, but for the most part, like you said, he moved out for a counter, realized he couldn't counter, came back, surrounded the army, and then killed it, but not after losing two bases, two mining bases. Imagine. I think he should have gone for a Doom Drop in a Clem's main base.
Yeah, like, imagine he could have gone for a Doom Drop. He could have collapsed on Clem's army sooner before he even lost his planetary, so then he would have been in a better economic position as well. Like, again, a bit of a miscalculation, and now he does finish up his CC, but he's forced liftoff.
Yeah, I don't really know what he's going for here. He's bringing the rest of his army in, and GG is called after another 22-minute game. It doesn't sound long, but it felt long. Clem takes the series 3-1 versus uThermal. That is absolutely madness.
GG. Congratulations, Clem. He does advance and move on to the grand finals of Taka Cup number 6. And even though uThermal, like, this is the end of his tournament run, like, he still played incredibly well against Clem.
Yeah. That was a good... Those were super great games, but that was pretty rough for uThermal there.
Yeah, again, like, as you said, like, in that base trade, there were some opportunities there. It's just, again, a bit of, like, you know, some decisions that didn't really go his way, like going across the map with his army, and there were these periods of time where he wasn't really utilizing them efficiently, or as efficiently as he could have been.
Yeah, man, that was a rough one for uThermal. You got to feel a little tilted after losing that one, because it was just a matter of very few mistakes there.
Yeah.
But GG, I don't think we've had such a good TvT like that in a while, and for uThermal to go that long against someone like Clem, I mean, that speaks numbers for him.
Exactly, and Clem is going to be our Terran representation in the finals, and now we are going to be heading over to the lower semis to figure out which of these two Zerg players is going to meet him.
Yeah, and that's where it gets dicey now. That was such a long TvT. I feel very invested in it, and I want to keep talking about it. But there's not much more to talk about. We saw it. It was absolutely nuts. It was adrenaline pumping. It was crazy. I'm sure the players themselves were definitely going crazy in that one. There's a lot to consider in that. And Clem, ultimately the victor. But now we get into Korea versus Europe. And mate, I don't know which way this goes.
Yeah, like, I feel like, you know, when it comes to straight up, like, a more standard ZVZ, I want to favor Solar, but Bly is anything but standard.
Yeah. And you know what? That makes That makes uThermal the first person to place in the 3rd and 4th place bracket. So he is still going home with $150 and 120 OSC points. Much as the loser of this next match will. They will also go home with 120 points and 150 bucks in their pocket. Hopefully they spend it on tacos.
hopefully we can see a couple of posts on Twitter or on social media about them with their tacos. I hope you know what, it'd be fitting if like Jim even had some tacos as well. Look, there's so much that Jim could be doing right now. Like, god damn it.
What is Jim? He's sitting there reading tweets.
God damn it, Jim.